Welcome to Temple View Farm. We just wanted to spend a little time in the greenhouse. So this is a raspberry plant, and you can see this is last year's wood. It's growing up. It has this little thing, this little branch. It's going to produce some raspberries. Aren't that beautiful? You know, the interesting thing about growing is, and I'm not going to lie to you and tell you I'm a full-blown master gardener, but gardening is you're not even paying attention. Let's go. Let me see if I know how to work this gimbal. There we go. Gardening is an interesting deal. You don't really have to know what you're doing to be able to do it. So I think that's the interesting part. This one's got all kinds of fresh growth. So earlier in the year we took and we split up a bunch of these raspberry plants. To make tons of babies. And these are the mothers. Look at that soil web. That white webby looking stuff. Just gotta love it. I'm just adding a little dirt to these. Maybe it would be better if you were up higher. Then you can do a better job paying attention. And we can learn together. So this one's feeling a little light. These things like to be moist. We'll just stick it in my special water. That feels better. That one's coming along pretty good. Really what I want to do is get into here. See these things? These things are doing so good. I think I want to see if I can't get them transplanted in a bigger pot. Oh, I wanted to show you that. There's my first red raspberry. Look at this thing. It's just chopped full of raspberries. They're all starting to get bigger. So I think what I want to do is get these bigger plants transplanted into bigger pots if need be. I'll check the root structure to make sure they're ready. And then I want to feed these dang things some special water to help the fruiting process. Looks like this one got burnt. It's tough in these greenhouses when it gets hot. Once you burn them, then they're in recovery mode. Let's see. And the fruit doesn't do very well. So that's what I want to do today. I want to get the dang fruit going quick. So I'm growing guavas. That's what a guava flower looks like. Are you even paying attention? Look at that beautiful flower. And these are all flowers right there. And look at this. That is a guava. My first guava. Pretty excited about that. These dang FFA citrus that I had in the FFA greenhouse here locally, they got abused and used. But it looks like this poor plant might recover with my special stuff. We've got barely any leaves anymore, but look, here's a flower. Here's an old lemon bud. Maybe it will recover. Let's find out. This dang, what is this? Mexican lime. This Mexican lime died, as you can see. And I'm just wondering, I know this is rootstock, I don't know what that is, but maybe there might be a lime tree that comes out of there, or I need just to throw it away. This one's a lemon. Oh, I'm sorry, a Valencia orange. And I'm just wondering if any of this new green is gonna be a benefit to us. So let me go make up some new special water. Oh, my fig trees are doing good. Got another one back there. So let's make up some special water and see how we do here. In these YouTube videos, it's difficult. I'm just using a GoPro. Can you see that water? I don't even have enough time. Yep, you can see the water trough. So I'm not paid by these people or anything, but I found in my deal this Alaskan fish fertilizer. Holy mackerel! I'm going to tell you, this stuff is absolutely amazing. Let me show you what it will do. So my wife, these are tomato plants that she's planted. Look at the thickness of that stem. It's like as thick as my pinky. Holy mackerel. You don't get that stuff at the nursery. See, I just want to bang that out and show you. Look at that. I mean, that thing is, hello, just gorgeous. And that's all my wife has done is planted it in by seed. These are all seeds. Of course, with the tomatoes, she forgot which ones they are. So they're either beefsteak or cherry. But look at that stem. And here's a little trick for you. If you get, you know, some people would say that's root bound. But look how healthy that thing is. It's not root bound. It just needs a little bit more soil in the bottom. And you press it back down in there. And it will encapsulate all that soil in the bottom now. This says tomato 6. Look at the stem on this thing. These are just absolutely fantastic. I haven't uploaded for a while because of a side project that we had going on. We have with gardening, we have collected a nice little collection of canning supplies, and it was taking over our laundry room. And off the back of the laundry room door, we had a 6x8 pad, concrete pad, patio type of thing that the builder put in when we moved in. Oh, it's been years. Decades. See how we're doing that? But anywho, we decided unwisely to extend that building. I'll show it to you. And that took, well, Grandpa came over, or Dad came over and said, oh, that'll take a week. And I was like, uh-huh. Unfortunately, he was right. It took the better part of a week. Look at that, we got a weed in there. Took the better part of a week, and so I haven't been concentrating on uploading videos. I've been concentrating on getting the building done. I was going to film that, but my wife doesn't want to be on YouTube, and she was a unique asset in that build. I don't know. But with the health of these tomatoes, I got to get back to those beds. We got in the last video about those beds. We got the 3 beds done. And while I was in the process of filling them up, and I was in doing laundry in the laundry room, and I just felt like I had to lose weight just to do freaking laundry. That doesn't make sense. We had so many, and I'm a foodie, so I have so many of those countertop appliances that you don't use all the time, but you have to have them, plus the canning equipment. And you know what I'm talking about, like the turkey fryer and the air fryer and the rotisserie, chicken rotisserie thing. I mean, late night is full of those. You gotta have this Jack Wing juicer and this and that and the other. And so you get them, and then it takes up all your counter space in your kitchen, and well, they end up in the garage, or the laundry room, don't they? So I finally decided to make it better in my world. Get rid of those things. Put them into good storage. Look at that beautiful dirt. That building's complete. The only thing we're missing is the roof. The roof's done. Just the inside. I was gonna wallboard it, but my wife was like, "No, let's put plyboard up." Okay. So we put plyboard up. But shoot, let's just move in and I'll throw the insulation and plyboard up on the roof when you get some plyboard. So that's the plan. We're moved into the building, or to the addition, I'll call it. Moved into the addition. Got all the canning things, and you know, when you're into canning, people know it, and you're into gardening, and people know it. The funny thing happens is when grandmas die and whatnot, you kind of inherit their mason jars. We've got a pretty healthy collection of inherited mason jars, and we got more scattered out in the hoard that need to be cleaned up and put away. Look at that healthy plant. That's a tomato plant. Look at the stem on that thing, huh? Where I was going with all this was kind of got tied up with that. You know, when you get into a project with that amount of effort, everything else kind of goes to the wayside, doesn't it? I was just coming in here in the greenhouse at night just to make sure the water wall was on and filled, and that the bucket was filled with water. The water wall was getting out its much needed humidity. It's hot. Greenhouse. It's not that hot. I jacket on, obviously. We're in the midst of a cold cycle. And it's closer to the end of May. I think in one of the videos I said in northern Arizona, you're not allowed to put anything in the ground until the end of May. We've had it in there for, what, a month now, I think, in these raised beds, and we've had 3 or 4 hard freezes again. With minimal damage to the plants, which is a good thing because I think the raised beds heat up the soil. This looks like a cucumber. Ooh, look at that, there's a worm. The baby worm. Is that a worm egg? Let's get it in the dirt. Look at that beautiful structure. Gorgeous. Where was I? Oh yeah, minimal damage because the raised beds, I think, it heats up the soil. My opinion, it heats up the soil, creates its own mini micro environment. So very minimal damage to the plants. And they're finally starting to take off. You know, plants are triggered by the soil temperature more than anything, more than light, more than else. It's soil temperature is what drives plants to kick it into high gear, as it were. I just wanted to get these, because if it takes another couple of days to get their beds filled, I want to make sure these plants aren't going to get all root bound and horrible. This is a spaghetti squash. Look at that. Just beautiful. I just want to make sure that if it does take a couple more days to get those dang beds filled, that these plants are going to make it. Look at that. This is a couple of zucchinis. That's what I got going today. I got it. Look at that, it's so humid in here. There's some moss growing on the thing. Well, that's pretty awesome. This is okra. Baby okra. Oh, look at that beautiful root system. We'll just knock some of that moss into the bucket of dirt and throw some goods on it. Yeah, everything's getting good. Just gotta keep moving forward, right? Oh, here's a pickling cucumber. Look at that, a double pickling cucumber. Let's see how she's doing. Oh yeah. Look at that. So these should be good. Now let's get into the water, the special water. Let's get pointed to the water. And I was talking about the fish puke. Description where to get this done. Maybe I'll move. How's this? Ever work with that fish fertilizer? I think it's part of the fishing industry. I think when they clean and trim their fish in these huge plants up in Alaska, I think what ends up happening is all the guts and glory of the fish producers end up thrown away, but they're making cat food out of it now. And let's see how your view is. There we go. Probably reselling it to growers, farmers. Probably hard to transport. But if you haven't dealt with this, it's got a, let's call it an extremely, alright, let's start the journey. What I want to do is also check the health of these plants. See if they have any signs of root. Hey, what are you doing? Get over here. You're not paying attention again. So this pot is about that full. We'll just gently work this dog out. Add some new soil. Oh, there's a worm. Pick this disc back up. Do some top dressing. There. Bet you're a lot happier now, buddy. And this looks like one of those ones where I took a ton of cuttings off. Just getting these bottom leaves off so they're not dragging on the ground. I took a ton of cuttings off this bad boy and didn't leave very much of last year's wood on there. So So we'll just turn that off real quick. And this is a point of concern right here. Let me get a pointer. See how this new growth is coming right out of this old growth? So you want to be very careful, cowboy. And there it is. There's a lot of debate about what you do with that cut end, and I just leave it. And we'll put him back, and we'll go through this top row here. Just checking the health of these things. This one looks like it got a little hot, doesn't it? And we do have an old wood there that isn't producing, so we'll grab that. Yeah, I have a relative that is replacing their trampoline mat that got all sun rotted. So hopefully I end up with another trampoline mat so I can put it up to the top. Keep that summer sun from beating down on these things. And like I said, it likes 70, 80 degree weather, but once it gets in the high 90s in here and the door is wide open and the fan's going. I have an exhaust fan. It's lasted 6 months. A Pacific greenhouse exhaust fan that lasted 6 months, and I called the manufacturer and they're like, well, you got to ship it to us and it's still under warranty. I'm like, 6 months? They're like, is it in a greenhouse environment? And I was like, well, I bought it as a greenhouse vent. Yes, it is in a greenhouse. Well, the humidity on those really kills the condenser. Isn't it funny they build something and then tell you after you buy it that it's really not designed for that purpose? I mean, you'd think they'd have some scientist that could make that condenser the condenser, I believe. I'm saying it right. Might be jumbling my words, but on the motor, there's a little thing that rides on top of that motor, and it's actually is what starts the motor. It provides the extra oomph to get that motor started. I don't think that's called a condenser. Now that I'm thinking about it. So I went on Grainger.com and found the condenser. So I bought the stupid fan for $79 on sale at some Tractor Supply or Cal's Ranch or whatever. Oh, I should tell you my secrets. Never buy a pool in the middle of summer Don't buy a boat or a jet ski in the middle of summer. You're about to pay full pot price. We purchased that beautiful pool over there for less than $100 because we bought it when we were down visiting my folks down in the Valley of the Sun for Thanksgiving a few years back. And the pool before that, you've probably seen on the ground out there, which is half the size. We bought it for a couple $100. The same scenario. I think we were down there for Christmas. That fan I bought in December a couple of years ago, and installed it. So I went on, so $79 fan, you go on Granger and you're thinking to yourself, I'm cutting that old wood out. And I'll show you why I'm making that decision. This thing had got scorched, and look at all this poor fruit. It's not gonna make it. Are you looking? All that fruit, because it got scorched and too hot, it's just not gonna make it. So I'm gonna, where do I want to whack it off at? Ow. Dirty bastards. Now that fruit is, I'm going to do it right here then. Get rid of that. Now that's going to do a couple of things for me. It's going to, look at this. That's fresh buds on the same old plant. Further down the stem it didn't get as burnt, so that's viable as fruit this year. I'm thinking, because there's so many babies in here and they're so spindly, I'm going to just top dress it and give these things a fighting chance to get thick and big and happy. You probably don't have to worry about, when you're doing this, the little babies that you just covered up that are coming up. They'll come up if you didn't do anything to them that nature doesn't do already. When leaf matter and tree branches and stuff fall in the forest. There. I'm going to just take and I'm going to try to manipulate those inward. There. There. That feels better. When you're growing like this, it's, and you haven't spent a week in here, and you're relying on your kids and people to make sure this place is watered. So I was building that building. There's always a little damage that occurs, and it happens. Just cut that damage off. Part of the reason you want to cut that damage off, so it doesn't send the energy, the plant doesn't send the energy to the damage, it sends the energy to new growth. Does that make sense? because these aren't all twiggy and spindly. I think I'm going to knock this out like the one before. I guess before I do that, I think what I want to do is grab some new dirt. You guys want to come into the greenhouse? You guys coming in or you gonna hang out there? Okay. So, along that same concept, that's the product I use, plus sphagnum peat moss. You don't go in the springtime, summer, or fall to buy that stuff. You'd be a fool. But late in the fall, both Lowe's and Home Depot, they fight for your business, your gardening business. And they put that stuff on sale. Look at that. See that? That's all soil web. It's all that mycelium, that fungus. Anyways, they're fighting for your business, and this stuff went on sale 2 for $10. And I cleared the shelf. Usually it's like $12.99 up here. A bag, that's retarded. Oh, this stuff smells good. Look at all that white fungus. You know, this is the key building blocks this stuff is. To any successful garden. I wish I was an expert at it. I wish I knew if it replicated. I remember some feller when I was first starting the gardening, he was selling this stuff in a bucket. A little, oh, I got one right there. Look at that. And he said it was mycelium soil web. And I've often wondered, does this white powder turn into mycelium soil web? When it's dried, is it dead? Are the spores of that mushroom fungus, are they going to inoculate this whole batch? Will it all become just the most deluxe soil web earth of my life? My wife and I were digging out the old garden beds, and we started getting into it and straining it, and the soil web was so thick through those. The one bed that we were doing to strain to fill up the other beds, I was like, holy mackerel, this hugel culture really works. The other beds that we had, we just put in We didn't know about wood chips then, but we were just putting in, you know, yard waste and weeds that are as tall as the Empire State Building that I chopped up. I knew about horse manure. So one winter I grabbed all the weeds and put them through my wood chipper in that area where my compost bin now, because it's two-sided and I had it all shooting toward the one side, and I ended up with like a cord of chopped weed stems, dried chopped weed stems, and we put that in the garden beds, and man, it really turned out nice. The mycelium, the soil web, is just throughout the whole thing. I was reading an article about it, and it's a living fungus, and plants that aren't physically attached to it know about it, and if you can believe this, call it out to come to the plants. Wow, that's heavy. You know, put plants in the top. Holy mackerel. I've been waiting patiently on this dang one. It's a boysenberry. Feels like something's going on in there. What's going on? There's worms. That's what's going on. This thing ain't gonna do anything. It sucks. Let's see. Look at these worms everywhere. Ooh, those are baby worms. That's good news. Ooh. That's a baby worm too. Look at all these worms. So I'm just get in there, worms. I'm just gonna go through, pick out the ones that you transplant with good hopes, and then they just don't make it. They're my children, they died on me. That one didn't make it. Let's find out what's going on. All that root mass. Why isn't it cracking something? What happened to you? Oh, when we first started this journey, when we first started this journey, we were listening a lot to that. We still do, but that's awesome. California Gardener. That is awesome, right? So we were putting perlite in the mix, but at $17 a bag, it gets expensive. And when you're doing stuff like I'm doing, where it's a little bit more than the normal 1 or 2 raised beds or whatnot, it makes it difficult to spend your life savings and earnings toward an end goal that you seem to be the only one that enjoys, except for your wife. My kids enjoy the fruits of our labor, I think, because they certainly eat a lot of cherry tomatoes and grape tomatoes and they love eating that stuff. But they necessarily don't like picking weeds and growing.
know my oldest daughter, she's a foodie too, and she loves going out to the garden for a good fresh zucchini. And you know, they make zucchini lasagna. That's like a staple at this house in the summer. I like grabbing the tomatoes and making pasta sauce and canning it and putting it down in the hole. We have like a root cellar type of thing. I'm such an odd fella, I like to call it my wartime bunker. Packed to the gills with all the food that we eat. Why isn't this oyster berry going off? It's dried up. Dry as a carp. Are you even paying attention? You're looking at this plant and I'm getting my soil prepared. I'll guarantee you what happened with this one, that's for dang sure. This winter I got busy doing other stuff and forgot that that one existed. Didn't give it enough water, it dried out. I have another one very similar to that over there that looks just like a twig, but it must have had just a breath of life left in it because it's still living. It sprouted new leaves with my fish blood jizzle, fish fertilizer, fish gut fertilizer. It's got new leaves and a new lease on life. So this dirt looks good. Nice good healthy dirt. Let's get this out here. Let's just look at that bad boy. Got a little bit of root. Oh yeah. Okay, we're good with that. Looks good, moderate growth. Pack it down in there. Give it a slam. Now that will have some more room to grow, be better off for it. Still haven't had a chance to get in here and redo the shelves that I built. I kind of think that I'm going to get rid of them and put in these plastic shelves. But the place I got them at, again, they were on the clearance aisle. And I picked them up for the clearance aisle. Said $10, and I got to the register and I bought, what was that, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 of them. There's 2 in my shop. I bought 14 of them and they rang up $5.99 for those. Look at these plastic shells, please. Oh. For those black plastic shells, $5.99. Can't go wrong. Alright, we're going to yank this one out. It needs a new happiness. That's a nice deep bucket. We'll do some cleaning of it. Pay attention. Have one of my teenage daughters in here working the camera because my dirty hands probably aren't good touching that camera and gimbal, but whatever. Do a little. Yeah. This one looks right for the picking, doesn't it? I'm gonna grab that one. Or is it too late to see? That's not too late. Geez, summer hasn't even hit. Jack. Maybe I'll do a little trimming of this. Get that old piece of wood out of there. That old piece of wood. What's going on here? Any fruit available on you, or you got baked? I'm sorry, I was away. Trying to make more room for the horde. Couple in there, they're just stellar, right? Knocking that one out. Get out of here. Beat it. We'll come in here in a week or two, and that node I just cut right there, we'll have all new leaves growing off of it. Probably the perfect size. There. You got 6 more inches to play. A lot of these are top watered, and see the soil runs down out of them. That's why you bang on them here. This one doesn't look like it ever got overheated. Got a nice root structure going. Oh, and a worm. Like him. Go back in there, buddy. This looks like one of those plants that I got all those cuttings that babies off of. Nice vibrant plant. Just sheared that off. Growing up through from the bottom layer up. Wondering if it's humid enough in this hole to make it grow new roots. Let's find out. It ain't gonna kill us to find out. I'm gonna put him over here in the shade, right next to the cooler and out of the sun. I'm gonna be careful not to do that again. Dang. That was good, vibrant life I just chopped off. First year stuff, but first year's good year. You get these vibrant plants going. And you know, next year is going to be good. Raspberries, berries for the most part. When node, this is that's a node. Let me get the pointer. So that's a node. When the node touches the soil, they'll grow roots. Or a node's function is to grow fruit. They're very active points in a plant. They have the ability to grow new plants, an exact replica of the mother plant, or they have the ability to grow fruit. I just want to manipulate that. Last year's wood. This is going to produce fruit. That one. This one is producing fruit. Now that we have a happy home for it, next year will be good too. All right. I'm gonna go eat breakfast. Call in the cavalry to get some help. We made like a train. Turn the misters off so you're not soaking wet by the time you're done. We could possibly have this done. Every pot check filled with water. With my special watering jug stuff. We can have that done in a half hour or so. Me by myself yapping my brains out. Nobody. It might take a couple hours, maybe all day. And it's getting a little bit hot in here. Just a scope. You're not even paying attention. Alright. Filling up the water wall in the bucket. Gonna need it. Stir that green algae up. Fish fertilizer. I don't know what's in there, but I'll tell you what. The results speak for themselves. Absolutely speak for themselves. And it's not a pleasant smelling thing. I wouldn't recommend setting up your kitchen sink full of water and fish fertilizer. You'll stink up your house for a day or two. I only know that because I accidentally did one day for the house cleaner. Woo! It was terrible. But we live in a breezy community. And a couple hours later, the breeze flowed through and allowed us to not have to smell them all. Again, I just wanted to humbly thank you for hanging out with me in the greenhouse, and as my channel develops and I get better as a YouTuber, I guess I'll get better at what I'm doing. Temple View Farms, having fun with planting pugs and honeydews.